Alright guys, TacticalRab here again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying all day. So far, we did not expect to find ourselves in this position. A key talking point over the last couple of weekends has been, when will Huke get signed into the CDL? He's been throwing in challenges. We expected him to get called up at some point, but not by his former organisation, OpTic Texas. But that is where we find ourselves. Pred, rumours started to emerge last night, is out of the starting lineup, not because of in-game performance-based reasons, but out-of-game factors, which maybe have been leaked in rather dramatic fashion on the timeline last night. We've got lots of speculation and detail to dive into today to try and come to the truth of this matter, when Pred is going to return to the OpTic starting team, and whether Huke actually might be the perfect man to take them to the next level. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Wow, this was unexpected, and as Zuma said yesterday, Rostermania is on the horizon. Ronnie then tweets out like, wow, there's some big stuff happening right now. We didn't expect it after the first weekends, but clearly there is more to this story than has initially met the eye. Now, we're going to start here with iLLeY, because this would have been today's thumbnail and title if not for all the Pred drama, just because iLLeY getting signed presumably somewhere is obviously a very big deal. Now, recently, iLLeY's team won the Challengers Cup, and iLLeY, of course, has once again proven himself to be a name in that kind of conversation. Now, where's iLLeY going to go? Couple of options out there. To me, the most likely one on paper, if this is to the CDL, because I can't really imagine that it wouldn't be, unless the team has signed a Challengers contract or something. That obviously their team did pretty well recently when he joined Arcetes and those guys, but even then, like, they've made some changes, right? Because I think Huke is obviously gone, as we know, from the team that he was on, and therefore they need a player who they've, gone for. Then that's, of course, messed up iLLeY's team. So iLLeY might be gone as well, and there's been some rumours as to what's going on there. But, this seems to be potentially a CDL contract, and if that is true, now it's not been talked about yet, really, because everyone was talking about the Huke stuff last night and the Pred stuff, but, where could it be? People have talked about Priestahh on Gentlemate as a possibility, right? There's a few players in those flex roles that maybe aren't quite performing. Obviously, Cloud9's a possibility, but I don't expect them to take a punt on something like this yet, although maybe they could or should. And then people are saying, oh, they've dropped Cellium, haven't they? FaZe have dropped Cell. I don't think that's especially likely. But yeah, iLLeY signed a contract, it seems. May well be back in the CDL in the very near future. But the main talking point, of course, being this one. So Ronnie comes out with it last night, and just such a major scoop this. And it's such a remarkable turn of events, because let's not forget, Pred came in for Huke, right? This was the big talking point of Modern Warfare 2, that of course they had a difficult season that year, Seattle and OpTic. Huke comes into the lineup. Huke was absolutely, God amongst men online during, what was it, Major 3 or whatever it was that year, when Huke could not be stopped. They turned up to LAN, they came second a couple of times, and we know that Huke is an incredible player, but on LAN, when it comes to decision making, these big moments, it's not been great for him over the last couple of years, and I think pretty much everyone was in agreement that getting Pred over Huke was the thing to do at the time. That's what they did, and it worked out. They won the World Championship the next year. Pred came in and was pretty much that guy last season for OpTic. However, Huke is better at this game than he was a couple of years ago, I would argue, from what we have seen as evidence so far. So we'll talk about whether Huke can actually be a real asset to OpTic, I would say, over the coming minutes. But first, we've got to talk about how we actually got to this point, because now we're seeing a role reversal. Pred is now out, and Huke seems to be back in. So initially, it's like, okay, why? What exactly is going on here? And then Ronnie does an article on the Breaking Point site as well, where he writes the following. OpTic Texas are evaluating a change in the starting roster now. As of course, as of recording, they've not confirmed this yet, but all of the details point towards this being the eventuality. So the way he describes it is, he's dealing with personal issues outside of the game. The team is said to be targeting Huke to join the starting roster, as Pred is currently dealing with out-of-game issues. So this is pretty much all that is said on the matter. And of course, immediately afterwards, there was lots of speculation as to exactly what this looks like, because there's a couple of things that usually out-of-game or personal issues tend to be related to. And usually it's either a family-related issue that Pred, would have to go home to Australia to deal with, and, like, whatever it is, we're all wishing Pred the best. But, of course, people wanted to know, well, why? Especially because OpTic have just won champs. And I know we talk about the champs curse affecting the teams that have done such a thing. And Shotzzy is looking like, maybe the best player on this game. Looks like his best game in a while. That shouldn't be a surprise, really, with the movement. But it's just the last few years, OpTic have been very unlucky with roster-related stuff, especially with iLLeY, the thumb injury, and like all the stuff that's happened with that team over the last couple of years. Last year, they finally put together a roster which was capable of winning, and that's exactly what they did at the end of the season. And then just a couple of months later, they now find themselves, and maybe Shotzzy especially, just because how good he is in this game, back in this type of position where their year again might be somewhat compromised. Although we'll discuss whether that's like true or not true in the coming seconds. But people wanted to know, right, was it a visa thing that maybe, you know, visa issues that OpTic are dealing with, Pred can't play or like work officially for a little while, maybe he's going to be stepping out for that. Obviously personal, like family related issues was also a possibility here. And, you know, maybe that's still the case. But obviously, if that was the case, you'd expect someone maybe would have said, yeah, you know, it's family emergency, family matter that he's got to go back and deal with. That was not really what was said. It was maybe implied at times, but it wasn't what was said. And obviously, Scump was streaming and everyone was in his chat asking, like, what's going on? Is Pred dropped? Like, is Huke in? What's happening? So, you know, Scump had to say something. And, you know, all he said was, it's personal reasons. It's not my place to talk about it. But, of course, shortly afterwards, we started to get some indication as to what that might potentially look like. So Huke back in for Pred is not the story that I expected to start seeing emerge on the timeline last night. So I'll share a couple of clips and then we'll go on to discuss what seems to be the real reason why all of this is going down.
Oh, you know, usually when they
Ronnie doing this because here's my guess is this is not a permanent change. If I had to take a guess, this is like a temporary thing and there's something going on behind the scenes because it's not like aBeZy was playing bad. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
not
don't
like
think
he
this
was
is a
fucking
temporary
up.
thing. You think this is a temporary thing?
Why would it be a permanent thing? What has aBeZy done? What would aBeZy have done to get fucking dropped?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying there might be more to it that we don't know. Like maybe it's I don't know.
So
Like,
there's,
it
so
could
there's a
be
more
so
there's a
many
more
different
deep
things, whether it's
there's
an
a more
out-of-game
deep
thing or an in-game thing.
There's a more deep article. Let me read this to you from Scrim Intel on the Breaking Point website.
Okay.
The team is said to be targeting Huke to join the roster as Pred is currently dealing with out-of-game issues. The move is not confirmed as of now and could be a short-term move as OpTic continues to evaluate the situation, work towards the best solution.
Okay. Well, I mean, first things first. If it is an out-of-game issue, I hope everything is okay, right? Like if it, whatever it is, like none of this matters. That's the most important thing. Like if it's an out-of-game issue, like hopefully everything's okay with AG.
I'm not really involved in any of those talks. All that I know is that it's personal reasons, and
Seth,
it's not really my place to talk about it, so I don't really want to talk about it. But yeah, so you just confirmed it, and no, I am not returning. For everyone asking.
So people, of course, were speculating all over the Reddit, what's actually going on here, why is Pred out of the team, and why has it been discussed in kind of like a mysterious way. Now, Buttery Delicious puts this on the Reddit yesterday, and of course the initial reaction is, well, you know, who's your sources, what are you talking about type thing. Now, the thing is with competitive cards, it's a pretty small scene. News travels, rumours travel, behind the scenes, and, you know, this type of stuff is not a massive surprise to many in the community. I just was not aware that it was anywhere near this bad, I think. And, well, as Buttery Delicious goes on to say, if people knew the real reason he's not playing, they'd be praying for him, not for good reasons. Pred is a gambling addict, over 6 figures in debt to Hex. Those are the facts. Speculate from there. Now, I don't know if that's actually true or not. What I will say is there was lots of DMs getting leaked last night that implied similar things. Now, it feels a bit weird to talk about some of these DMs, but I wouldn't be doing it justice on the story if we didn't at least go through them, because I do understand Benjay's perspective, where he says, not gonna lie, zero respect for people leaking some of this stuff on the timeline. Then again, I do get it from their angle, because, you know, some of these guys have lent Pred money, basically to gamble with, it seems, and then having not received it back, it's like, well, you know, they want to air their grievances out publicly, which I do understand. But, you know, it's also not, it's just a difficult situation, I would say, for pretty much all parties. But, yeah, this arrived on the timeline yesterday. So this is a screenshot from, I think, iBelieve tweeted this. Now, of course, all this stuff's been deleted. But, look, we're going to talk about it. So OpTic Pred clearly hitting up iBelieve here and said, basically, the following: would you be down to PayPal or Zelme or whatever that's pronounced, like 1K, and I'll tip you back in the, like, my banks are limited, stuff like this anyway. So, yeah, it's been a big talking point, and we know that other pros and other players have suffered with this over the last few years, and I don't know to what extent this has affected Pred, and there maybe have been some implications from him on stream, some of the things that he said about certain things that have made people kind of speculate as to whether this could be a thing, but it certainly does seem like Pred's got himself in trouble here one way or another, you know, on the gambling front. And at least that's the implication of this. And then there was also this yesterday. So this guy also tweeted this out. And again, it's like this stuff got deleted. It's kind of, you know, difficult to discuss. But, you know, there was another supposed screenshot that was here, like, you know, Yoku, you place a bet for me, could you spot me a K and I'll send you it back with a tip and all this stuff. So yeah, it's rough to read. Again, I don't know how much of this is true and some of the numbers that people are talking about, how realistic these things actually are. And it's also kind of remarkable how, you know, I think he was on stream just a couple of days ago, everything seemed to be okay, and maybe things, you know, hit Pred or hit OpTic or whatever kind of all at once to realize, okay, yeah, this is a serious issue and problem that needs to get resolved right about now. And of course, the speculation a couple of minutes ago that he owes serious money to Hex, who's lent him money for some reasons, like, I don't really know. But look, I'm just going to present what's out there. You guys can make your, you know, thoughts be known in the comments section below. There was also this, again, I don't know what's true or what's not true. I don't even know what sources these are coming from, but they were hitting the timeline. So, you know, he spent 4 to get a Gucci store in Dubai. We know that he had this, like, mega European tour. I think the feeling was, oh, you know, Pred's enjoying his life, right? I mean, he's made all this money from the World Championship. He's going around, he's spending it, fair play. But obviously, if we're talking about serious money being bet on certain games or whatever, then, you know, that could disappear rather quickly. So, you know, these are some of the things that were going around yesterday. There was also this that was put out there as well. Like, I don't know how much debt Pred might potentially be in. And obviously people are also going to say, well, if you're in debt, like, you better play cards, then you're going to make the money back winning tournaments. But of course, it's not quite that simple, especially if, like, there's a serious issue that OpTic need to step in and help resolve here, because, you know, we know that OpTic do their best to look after their players, and when it's a situation like this, it may, you know, they may feel like it's in Pred's best interests to you know, usher him out of the starting team for a while so they can help resolve this situation outside of the game. It's, yeah, it's complicated. So I think we can only hope that if this stuff is true, Pred gets the help that he needs. And, yeah, you know, just wishing the best, I think, for all parties here. But it's definitely been an interesting night and, yeah, a rough one, I think, to go through and read. But as I say, like, you know, I can't do justice to the stories if we don't talk about this type of stuff in some detail. So let's talk about what it means for OpTic, because Pred now stepping away from the team for a while, I think there's also some concern. I don't know how easy this situation is going to be to resolve. I don't expect that Pred's going to be back in 2 weeks, right? Like, I think if, you know, Pred's going to be out for these reasons, he's going to be out for some time, would be my imagination. You know, that's my speculation anyway. But we'll see. Huke is in. Now, this isn't confirmed. This is a tweet from January 2023, of course, when he was back in the roster. But, you know, we saw this confirmation, of course, happen when Scump retired and everything happened as a result of that. We know that Shotzzy and Huke are a great duo. They've done it before, and they will go on to do it now. Is this going to be good for OpTic in the longer term? I'm not so sure, but if Huke is there for the longer term, he does, you know, he's their best opportunity to give them a chance. And I feel like it's kind of remarkable how they've managed to get Huke before anyone else got Huke, not due to their own intention, but just due to the circumstances. Huke seems unreal on this game. Shotzzy and Huke will be a feared SMG duo in the game, especially online. That will be true. On LAN, I don't know, we'll see. They will not have a problem, this team, winning online matches, I would well imagine. There is a bit of a story here brewing, just because Huke and Kenny have played one event before. They played back on Los Angeles, Thieves and Cold War, and you guys remember that didn't end especially well because Kyler turned up to the event and he spelled his name wrong on the COVID test, and therefore he wasn't able to play it. There to summon Drazah. So they don't have the best history as a teammate pairing, but you know, Huke back with Dashy, back with Shotzzy. It's pretty remarkable. And just to finish off with one final bit of drama, because it was all ahead of the time yesterday, aLLeY got tweeted this out with obviously all the Pred stuff happening, and she said, everyone's smoking the OpTic pack right now. This is kind of before all the speculation happens, and people were just wondering what's going on with Pred. So I think understandably this wasn't especially well received, and there was some further drama on it. aLLeY responded, and it was all going on. So yeah, everything's been happening last night. I'm sure there's going to be some updates further going forwards, but it's just not good timing for for like all parties. I mean, can you imagine OpTic, the world champions, have played one weekend of matches, and then, you know, one of their best players, obviously they've got many good players, but, you know, one of their top players from last season, who played a key role in revitalizing their team last year, is now stepping out of the team for reasons semi-unknown, but of course massively speculated on today. So intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure there's going to be more to come from this over the coming days. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.